as I say, there's a lot of your fans in the audience as well. It has a kind of cachet. Cell Block H has become a kind of, well, something that people in this country anyway have taken to. We do take to Australian soap operas, but this one is different, isn't it?
Well, it's become a sort of cult here. We can't believe it.
I don't know. I think 10 million's bigger than cult, really, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, it is a big audience for it.
We couldn't believe it when we got off the plane at Manchester. There was a wonderful welcome waiting for us. And you hear about it in Australia, but until it actually happens to you, you don't believe it.
I can't believe it myself.
When Amanda says we, she means Sheila Florence, who plays Lizzie Birdsworth in the show. I've been here for a year already, so I've been experiencing this for quite some time.
Who's making... Of course, the thing finished, didn't it, in Australia, but
yes,
25 years ago.
Ages ago. We both left in, what, 1983?
83.
We started in
Friday
1980...
the 13th of May, I left.
Was it 1980?
7 years ago. So what I'm looking at on the screen is a little old.
And we still look wonderful, don't you think?
The years have been kind to you.
Did you just introduce us as a couple of old lags?
Well,
you too.
I resent that.
Well, I mean,
I resemble it.
But I mean, it must thrill you to get to the reception. It was very successful in Australia, of course, in its time,
yes,
wasn't it?
in its time.
Terry, it was successful everywhere it was shown. For instance, in 1980 in America, it had a viewing audience of 39 million.
I mean, let's face it, it's not an expensive show, is it? I mean,
well, it wasn't
How
for
can you tell?
Grundys.
well, I mean, all I can ever see is one corridor on the inside of one cell.
That's not fair. There are at least 2 corridors.
2 corridors.
And about 4 cells.
And 4 cells. And then the governor's...
Office.
The governor's office.
Which
And then
doubled as several other things.
The governor's office became the doctor's office as well, where we, had to go and see
And the recreation room was the dining room as well.
Do you think it reflects life in a woman's prison accurately?
Yes, I do, actually, except that the things that happen obviously in a soap opera, happen much more quickly than they would happen in real life, because boredom is one of the biggest things that's a problem in prisons. And we weren't into making a documentary, so we're not going to bore everybody, so it's condensed.
Yeah.
But true to life.
We actually were taken to Fairley Women's Prison, weren't we, in the early days, just to see what it was like. And all our characters were originally based on real live people.
The original characters, yes. The 13 original.
Mind you, they have a good excuse for not having very extravagant costumes and everything, because
They were couturier uniforms by Bruce of Coonabarabran, I promise you.
So what part did you play?
I played Chrissy Latham, very naughty girl. She was in for prostitution, and when I got in, I fell in love with the prison doctor. And when he didn't return my love, I stabbed him with a pair of scissors.
And rightly so.
Well, I thought so at the time. And his wife was the prison warden, and of course she was in the series right through with us. And after I'd killed her husband with a pair of scissors, she then delivered my baby for me and was wonderful to me.
How did you get pregnant? You were in there a long time.
Don't ask me. Terry, I never found out. I mean, I did.
She has several theories, but none of which you can say on live television.
Well, really, I mean, I'd been in it for, 2 years, and suddenly a script arrived saying Chrissy is pregnant. Well, we didn't know who, I mean, the last man I'd seen, I'd killed with a pair of scissors. And there was another doctor who wasn't there, but I don't know. I mean, eventually he turned up, like a year later. Yeah. Some crim from Yatla
Another
jail.
prison, yeah.
Another prisoner.
All that stuff. Amanda, you were a nasty piece of work, weren't you, in the prison? You were the queen bee.
Yeah, and I was also Val, darling.
That's Val.
That's Amanda.
Amanda Val. Yeah, Val. Yeah.
A nasty piece of work, yes, but...
the queen bee.
That's right. But top dog, yes.
Yes, you did a lot of dirty work in the laundry, didn't you?
That's not... It's funny that everyone remembers my character for being tough and violent, and in fact, she was constantly championing how do you say that word? Championing the underdog, and I think I probably cried as much as I
putting her
punched.
iron down on people's hands.
Oh, but for very good reason.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. So she
She
never
had
stabbing
handfuls of my hair through those 4 or 5 years.
Did you knock each other
Handfuls of my
about
hair.
quite a lot?
A lot, yes.
Should we tell them the story of how we were doing a fight scene? In the early days, we didn't ever have stunt people on the set. And
Who knew, had no idea, because they're mostly men, how women fight, you see, so it was useless having them.
they were used to, fisticuffs and all of that. But we were doing a fight scene, and her story is that my nose went on her elbow.
Oh.
But my story is that her elbow caught my nose.
I kept saying, don't put your head down, Amanda, and she didn't.
Well,
whack. That was
wouldn't you?
it.
I was doing that, And, of course, it fractured my nose.
The only person I heard in 4.5 years. That's not bad.
You were put inside for prostitute. What were you inside for?
I murdered my husband's mistress. In a fit of temper. And then, whilst Bea was in jail, her daughter became involved in drugs, and this is why she was an anti-drug abuse campaigner. She decided this was because her husband had neglected the daughter. So she behaved herself and got her parole and murdered him too.
Oh.
Quite proper.
I'm back
and then
in.
a bit later on she
It's
murdered
great
someone else
fun,
as well.
isn't it? It was great fun.
Why did it get the elbow? Why did they stop making it?
It went for 9 years or something.
7
didn't
years.
it? Oh, all right, well, 7.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yes.
It is indeed, yes.
Were you snapped up by other soap operas when you finished?
Well, I ended up...
I mean, Home and Away or Neighbours, you'd be ideal.
I did
Oh,
some-
I don't
what
think
was
so.
it?
I was
Richmond
equity
Hill.
dep for 3.5 years, you see, on that particular company, and the production company aren't terribly keen on me.
Oh, see. Oh.
I went straight
Wheels
into
within
the
wheels.
theatre from
Yeah.
that. I went straight into a show called Steaming, and I only got the role because the director saw me in an episode of Prisoner, which he'd never watched.
I wonder how much longer it's going to run here.
Oh, I think, well, all over the country. You're
Depends
all
on what
in
area
different-
you're in.
Different
Yeah.
places.
Shows
What are you
different
doing here? I've been brought over to
Well,
meet your
I was
fans.
brought over by the fan club. Because, you see, you have the fans
Cell
of
Block
Australian
8 fan
soaps.
club.
Exactly, yes. The subscription of the fans brought me over here last year, and you have so little access to the Australian soap personalities. So they decided to rectify that because the production company was not being terribly cooperative. They brought me over, and it was so successful. I did 3 months tour last year. That they brought Amanda over, and
Sheila
Florence,
Florence.
Lizzie Birdsworth.
So I
And we're
believe you-
doing The Great Escape.
Yeah. I believe you were mobbed in Derby.
Oh, more than
Oh,
once.
it was incredible. They had to get the police in the end.
Hmm.
But this tour we're doing, it's like a travelling chat show, which has never been done before. And we've got, there's some fantastic musicians in it called, what are they, the Jailbreakers, and there's...
All starting on the
sorts
1st of September in Derby.
And going all over the country, so come and see us.
And during, in the middle of this, I am appearing in a stage production of Lady Chatterley's Lover, would you believe?
What time are you?
I have to get off, actually.
What time are you on stage?
I'm supposed to be
Now.
on stage at about 8:15, which will be interesting. Down
Where?
at Bromley.
Down Bromley.
Churchill Theatre, Bromley.
Let's hope the traffic is easy.
I do.
And we hope you get there in time. And thank you both for joining us. Thank
Thank you very much.
Val and Amanda.